Here we go. Mind exercises or coaching, whatever, however you want to think about it. So this is a video on reflection, thinking, pondering, changing our perspective, changing our outlook, being open to the possibility that maybe our mindset is not aligned where we want it to be aligned, and it's derailing us from where we want to go, right? So I'm going to read again. I think I did last time, or on one of my stretching videos, I read from Mark Nepo's The Book of Awakening. Very good. Okay, so this one is on repetition is not failure. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's the bottom line of what we're going to talk about today, that repetition is not failing. Repetition is not failure. Ask the waves, ask the leaves, ask the wind. They're very repetitive, right? Nature is repetitive. It's a thing. He writes, there is no expected pace for inner learning. What does that mean, Tito? There's no expected pace. We put that expectation on ourselves or on other people. And it's unfair because we all have our own experiences. We've all grown up in our own circumstances, lives, with difficulties or lack thereof, blessings or lack thereof. Our perceptions and outlooks have been formed way different than our best friend, our mother, our spouse, a stranger. We don't know what they're going through. They don't know what we're going through. So there's no expected pace for inner learning. So try not to beat yourself up for, oh my gosh, I did this again. I keep doing this. Why can't I learn to stop doing that? There's no expected pace for inner learning. Have grace for yourself. More importantly, have grace for others. Don't place your expectations on other people. It's not going to work for you or them. Okay, what we need to learn comes when we need it. No matter how old or young, no matter how many times we have to start over, no matter how many times we have to learn the same lesson. What comes to mind here is my mom. She is a young 77, and she'll say, well, I'm too old. I'm too old. Or I've been this way for so long already, and I have to stop, and we have to talk about it, and I have to redirect her and say, you're never too old. Ever. We're not stuck. We're only stuck because we tell ourselves that we're stuck. If we want to grow in any area of our life, become more patient, become more consistent, become more giving, less selfish, less procrastination. I don't care if you're 100 or 70 or 4 years old. You can become more of whatever you say you want to do. You just need to be aware. You need to speak the words into your experience, and you need to take action, period. Age has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with your growth. Doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't. So place that aside. Thank you very much. Next. We fall down as many times as we need to learn how to fall and how to get up. That is so awesome. So each time we fail and we fall, it's not a bad thing. We look at it as a bad thing because we're conditioned to, and the world says that it's wrong, and movies say it's wrong, and social media people say it's wrong, and it's Only wrong if you say it's wrong and if you believe it's wrong and your perception says it's wrong. It doesn't have to be wrong. You can look at it as an opportunity to rise. You can look at it as another chance to get up. It could be as, wow, that made me more strong. I am stronger now because I fell. What can I learn from that experience? Other people are watching you, your children, your friends, your spouse, anybody, and you can be an example to them to see like, oh, I've done that too, and wow, she got back up, and she's communicating about it, and she's being vulnerable about how she felt when she fell and how she got back up. And that's going to influence other people to be drawn into you. They're going to be inspired by you. Not only are you helping yourself by getting back up, just get back up, just get back up, you're going to help other people to see that and follow your example. And it's amazing, and it's not a bad thing. So fall away, get back up, right? And each time, maybe we'll get up in a different way. Maybe we'll get up quicker next time, and maybe we won't, and it's not a bad thing unless you believe that it's a bad thing, and it's not. It's not. La la la. We fall in love as many times as we need to learn how to hold and to be held. We misunderstand the many voices of truth as many times as we need to truly hear the choir of diversity that surrounds us. We suffer our pain as often as is necessary for us to learn how to break and how to heal. Again, that's us learning every time we fall. We learn from that experience, hopefully. We may learn that, wow, I just did that again. And what can I change next time in order for me not to stay down as long? And let me get an accountability partner and let her know or him know what I'm doing so next time they can hold me accountable. And I didn't do that before. I was afraid, but that fall really hit me hard. So now I'm going to get an accountability partner. That's huge. That's learning from your past experience, which doesn't have to be called a failure or a fall. It could be just past experience, whatever works for you. And it's spurring you on to be vulnerable, to ask for help, to be an example to others that you're asking for help. You're going to spur your accountability partner to feel like, wow, I'm valued, that Alicia really trusts me to be vulnerable with me, and that's going to make that person feel stronger. Then her relationships are going to blossom, and it's a blessing to everybody around. So you're not only being selfish and concentrating on me. You're helping other people, even if you don't realize it. You are. No one really likes this, of course, but we deal with our dislike in the same way, again and again, until we learn what we need to know about the humility of acceptance. So, what does that mean to you? We don't like to fall. We don't like to have to do it again, mainly because of embarrassment and how we are telling ourselves that it's a bad thing, and then we're influenced and we don't want to be vulnerable in front of other people because it's just normal for everybody to think that that's a bad thing, to fall or to fail. But it's not. That's how we learn, right? So let me think of some examples. When I first started teaching a certain class, I mean, I teach many, many, many formats, but when I first started teaching one format or another, I failed big time. I sucked big time. When I first started teaching cycle in 2003, I was terrified. I didn't want to get up in front of people and have to exercise and look at my notes and exert myself and talk and cue all at the same time. I mean, let me take that back. I did want to, I didn't know how. I was afraid. So, but I did it. And I was bad at it. And then getting that feedback and criticism back to grow was unbearably uncomfortable. I wanted to quit. I didn't want to do it anymore. This is just ridiculousness. I don't want to do it. But for some reason, I kept persevering and I kept learning and I would fall and I would fail. But I see it as getting back up and I would learn. And yes, the criticism hurt, but it was true, right? You just have to pick the truths out of the feedback that you're getting. It might not be given in a loving way, but if it's stinging in any way, it might be because it is true. So pick out what is true and then leave the rest, right? So I kept trying, and now I can teach cycle anytime, anywhere, at any gym, subbing or not, I am down. Same thing, body pump, right? I got certified in that like 11 or 12 years ago. It was horrendous. The hardest training I've ever done, I was not lifting then. I didn't know what the heck these lifts were or how to do them, let alone cueing and timing and the music and on the beat and a 1-3 and a 3-1 and a 4-4 and a 2-2. You might as well talk Chinese. I didn't know what that was. And I'm in a classroom of 15 people. They've been taking body pump for a while. They knew what they were doing. I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be bad. And then with body pump, or all of Les Mills, if you're not an instructor or don't have an instructor friend, you have to do that training. You have to pass that training. Then you have to video yourself doing the full entire class almost perfectly with cueing, talking, positions, everything. You have to pass that, and then you can teach. Well, I didn't pass the weekend, not even close. So I had to be mentored by my friend. Luckily, she owned a gym and she took me under her wing so she could watch me, help me, coach me, because I was falling and failing, or as I could say, I was getting up and growing and learning, though it was unbearably uncomfortable, but I did it. And then I did my video, and I failed. Oh boy, okay. So then again, she had to coach me, and then I passed, but I sucked. I was afraid to get up in front of people and talk. So my voice was low. I didn't look at people. I didn't cue right because I was terrified of people. Unbearably uncomfortable. But for some reason, I knew I'd be good. I knew I would love it. I knew it would help me. And I knew I could be a great instructor. So I stuck to it. And finally, it happened. I got a little bit better. So think of, it could be another example that's not gym related? Emotional eating is a good universal example, and I struggle with it too, which at sometimes I think I'm an imposter. How can I be a health coach and talk to people about emotional eating and their fear of their FOMO or their this when I'm suffering the same thing? I feel like a hypocrite. But then the more I thought about it, the more I'm coached by my coaches, it helps me because I relate. I am in it with you. I have some people that I'm helping that I'm kind of up here and they're down here. I have some that we're kind of on the same level and we help each other. And then my coach brings me up along, right? So, back to emotional eating. We overeat, telling ourselves we won't do it, and then we do it. So we fall, we fail, however we want to look at that. And then so we can learn from that experience. We can get up. We can learn tools from our coach or from YouTube or from podcasts or from books, right? We can get that learning, but we don't stop there. That's not enough. What from that learning can I do in action to propel me forward and learn and get me up from this failure growth process, however we want to see it as? So we can learn that the topic of emotional eating, we can say, if we can learn the tool, just the tool itself of instead of saying, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep emotional eating? Why? And we're concentrating on the problem. Emotional eating is the problem. We're getting dramatic about it, the problem. But if we have the tool that we learned in a book and a podcast and your coach, that the best way is to not look at the problem, but look at the solution and change your words and your perspectives and say to yourself, what can I do today that will be a success for me? What is a step forward? What can I do today that will propel me forward to my goal? Today I will get specific and say the details. Today I will have dinner and then I don't need a dessert tonight. Just for tonight, that's what I'm concentrating on. That is the solution. Just for tonight, I will have dinner and no dessert to prove to myself that I can. Because I can. You can. Instead of saying, oh, but I emotionally eat every night. Every night after dinner, I emotionally eat. So you're prescribing it, you're saying it, you're arguing for your limitations. Therefore, tonight after dinner, you will emotionally eat because you're on the problem road. Solution thinking. And it doesn't have to be this exact, it's just an example. Tonight I have dinner, kitchen's closed, no dessert, period, done. No drama. You're just proving to yourself that you can and you can. You don't have to get dramatic about it and make it all, oh my gosh, but I love dessert and I can't have dessert. Think of why you're doing it. You're doing it for yourself. You're not doing it to yourself. You want to lose weight, feel healthy. You don't want all the sugar and the carbs that cause anxiety, depression, weight gain, and embarrassment, and fatigue. Why would you argue for that side? Why? No. So, just for tonight, be specific. I will do this. Get an accountability partner. If you know me, some of you don't, if you know me and you want me to be that person, I will be that person. Text me or call me, and we'll be accountability partners. I have two, and a coach, and we help each other, and we fall down, and we fail, and we get back up. And we can be examples to one another and those that are watching that they can too. Okay? So keep that in mind. What was the main quote that I want you to go away with? It is something about repetition. Repetition is not failure. It's not. And consistency is actually key. So, repetition is not failure. So you're going to learn at your own pace. Don't have expectations of when that's going to happen. Be happy that you're learning the lessons as you go and you're doing it for yourself, not to yourself. Mwah! Get that accountability partner. If you want it to be me, reach out to me. I got you. I got you. See you next time.